Hey, you like our intro music?
I do.
You dig that, Jordan?
I like it a lot.
You know, I think it's really funny that all these guests we have probably never even heard our podcast. Have you listened to one?
I've seen the shorts.
Yeah. You've never listened to a full-length podcast, though?
Never tuned in. We've had two guests. Neither one of them have even listened or watched the podcast, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Sounds about
We got
right.
Jordan Gooding with us today. Say hello, Jordan.
Well, hello, everyone.
This is Jordan Gooding. He has G2 Coastal and does surf guiding and also has a YouTube channel that he started. It's really funny. I thought about this on the way over here. I took you on a trip, right?
You did.
So both of you, before you made your move down here and started fishing and guiding, I took both of you on a trip.
I don't know that I knew that you took him.
Oh, really?
Surprise.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So
I
like,
thought I was a lucky one.
yeah, he started fishing around the area, and I saw him a couple of times. And when I was running trips full time, I couldn't keep up with people. I mean, I recognized faces, but names and stuff. But I remember seeing you and being like, that guy looks familiar.
It's me.
Like I was like, I think I've taken this guy on a fishing trip before, and I had. You confirmed that for me later, but I couldn't keep up. How did we do? I don't even remember. Do you remember? Like, I remember your trip, Brad, but I don't remember how we.
You're not very memorable.
Yeah.
It must have been not a good trip.
I was not impressed.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, man. Shots fired.
I'm sure it was terrible. Surf guiding's tough, man. It's
Yeah.
hard.
It could be really tough at times.
Yeah. You don't remember? We didn't catch anything?
I mean, we caught some whiting and stuff like that.
Mobile Street.
Typical. I mean,
Yeah.
average.
Should take you to Mobile Street?
I'm sure
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a spot, man.
And that was like when you moved here or before you moved here?
Right before we were actually down here on vacation, kind of looking at houses, and then it was right before Sally hit.
Okay.
So that kind of pushed our move back a little bit, but
So you moved here in 2020?
21. Wait, when was Sally? Sally.
2020.
So you moved
Yeah,
in.
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we moved down here February of last year, so 21.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
From all the way from Indiana.
700 miles.
It's a long ways.
Yeah.
Nice.
Moved
You liking
down-
it, though?
Well, yeah, I'm living the dream. I mean,
Just fishing for a living?
yeah.
I know. It's hard to complain
Nothing
about
wrong
that.
with that.
Like, you get to guiding. Guiding is tough. It's
Oh,
work.
yeah.
It's work.
Yeah.
But if you're going to guide, I think surf guiding is like the way to go. I mean,
Absolutely.
way less overhead.
Yeah.
You get to be on a beach
Right.
and you get to fish for a living.
Yeah.
At the beach. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty cool.
It can be tough. I did it obviously several years, and it wears on you.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough. You've had some pretty interesting experiences, and I've had, for as long as I did it, you've had way more stuff happen to you.
That's just the luck of the draw, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You're a lucky man.
We went fishing this morning, and you were telling me here recently you evidently passed out
Yeah.
on a trip.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I was lucky and got some wicked food poisoning, and
What gave it to you?
no clue. I
You
have
don't
no
know?
idea. Nope.
Okay, I was going to say we need to
You're not trying to blast a restaurant or something?
steer clear of something.
No, I have no clue where I picked it up at. But I was like, you know what? This is the last trip I've got scheduled for a couple weeks. So I'm going to get these people out. And we get out there, and I mean, I'm just sweating. I'm already dehydrated. Throw a couple rods out.
Were you just hungover?
No, I wish.
That'd been way
Yeah,
better.
it wouldn't have lasted as long.
Right? Oh, man.
Throw a couple rods out, and I look over at the people. I'm like, I'm going to pass out. So I walk over to my cart, just lean over, and boom, just right out.
So how long were you out?
No clue.
Seriously.
Yeah. I'm assuming it wasn't long. I mean,
They were still there when you
yeah,
woke
they were
up?
there. There wasn't an ambulance or anything. So.
They didn't think you were dead.
Yeah.
You wake up and they're just taking pictures of you.
Like poking me with sticks. Like, oh my God, this guy's dead.
Like, look at our surf guide passed out.
So, I mean, when you pass
They
out.
probably thought you were hungover.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. I'd be like, this is totally
Yeah,
hungover.
he's not.
Typical beach bum.
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean, when you pass out, I mean, you have no recollection of time. I mean, you're
Sure.
out and you're back up. So it could have been 10 seconds. It could have been a minute. I have no idea.
They didn't tell you?
No.
Were they concerned? Like, were they?
She was actually, one of the ladies there was actually a nurse.
Oh, that's
So,
that's helpful.
Yeah. But they didn't help
Was
me.
she cute? Were you trying to like get her to resuscitate you or something?
No. I mean, I'm not saying she was ugly. It's just older, just an older couple. That's all.
So what happened when you woke up? Like,
I I said, hey, sorry.
My bad.
What are we? Where am I?
Yeah, I didn't intend for this to happen, but I was like, we'll give it another 30 minutes, see if I can get my stuff together, and it just didn't happen. So I was like, go home,
So you
save your
packed it
money.
up?
Yeah.
So y'all never caught a fish, I guess.
No, we did. We caught a blue runner.
Oh, yeah?
It wasn't a skunk.
So you caught a blue runner and then passed out.
I don't know if it was before or after.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no skunk.
Dang, so you passed out and just kept on
They
going.
got a show out of it at least.
Dang. I've never. I can't say that I've ever had that happen to me. I've never passed
I
out.
don't think I've ever like passed out. Maybe like
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
drinking too much and falling
Just
asleep
really,
real quick.
really
but
sleepy. Yeah, but
I don't think I've like passed out from dehydration or anything.
at least
like,
you
on
knew
the
it was
beach or
coming.
something.
At least you weren't
Yeah.
like out in the water and just like
Yeah.
fell over.
This is
That'd been
all
bad.
that tunnel vision, just everything just zoned in. I'm like, yep, I'm going out.
So you laid on the beach cart. What do you mean? I can't.
I got on
visualize
my
that.
knees and just like leaned over the cart on my cooler. And just out.
I wish we had video of
I
this.
know. I know. Were you
because,
filming that day, or did you
I
check
had the
GoPro?
GoPro, but I didn't have it turned on. I know.
Man,
We've got to just get you one that you can just run 24/7
know.
because it sounds like you're an accident waiting to happen.
you needed a third-person view of that,
I
like
know.
in a thumbnail of I passed out on a guided fishing
Yeah.
trip.
I really wish I would have had the other camera going, but I didn't.
That would have
That would have been a
hilarious.
good video.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. You had something else happen to you
Yes.
too, man. Like you actually had to have your clients take you
To the hospital.
to the ER.
Yeah. And I had the camera rolling this time.
You need to book a trip with Jordan. You never know what's gonna happen.
It's gonna be a good time either
yeah.
way.
Yeah, you're gonna see me get hurt eventually. I mean, it's gonna happen.
So what happened with the ER trip?
It was actually a family I'd taken out the year before. They booked another trip with me. We got out there.
Evidently, you didn't pass out with them. the
Did
first
not
time.
pass out on me.
First one went
But
well.
hey, there's always next time. Don't give up on me.
Wait for this trick.
And we immediately, started catching fish. Pompano, whiting. It was on fire that day. And about 20, 30 minutes into the trip, I stepped on something. And it buckled me. I fell to the ground, lifted up my foot, and it was a catfish carcass just hanging out the bottom of my foot. So
Ouch.
That sounds so painful.
So somebody just like throwing it up on the beach, I guess.
it's hard telling. It could have washed up. It was buried in the sand. But yeah.
And it was like rotten.
Oh, yeah. It was gross.
Even better.
Yeah, I tried to pull it out, couldn't. It ended up actually getting into the nerve in the bottom of my foot.
Oh,
So yeah, my
Snap.
toes
Serious
still go
stuff.
numb.
really?
Yeah, but they cut the barb off the body. Took me
Your
to the
client
hospital.
did?
Yeah, because I tried, and I about passed out from that. Just the
I
pain.
probably
I
would
bet.
have.
I mean, that's intense. If you've never been stung by a hardhead catfish and you're listening to this, it's excruciatingly painful.
No, it's brutal. Even if
it's
they
one of
just
the worst
poke
things.
you,
Yeah.
your hand.
It's bad because
Can
what it
imagine
is,
stepping on it.
it's sharp. It's like a very sharp, fat needle, but they have toxins on their fins. So like it's like a really, really bad bee sting, basically.
And they actually kind of have like barbs
Yeah,
too,
it's
right?
actually
Yeah.
barbed. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wherever you get stung, like I've been hit 2 times, and both times one was in my arm. Well, they were both in my hand and then arm, and my whole arm would go completely not numb, but it would hurt, like sore, aching, very very painful. I've even had there was a friend of mine that went fishing. He got sick, like he got hit and he was
Yeah.
throwing up.
Jeez.
Like we almost had to take him to the doctor.
Yeah, some people are super allergic to them, apparently.
So what happened? So they take you to the ER. Like
Took them to the ER.
what happened there?
They loved it. They're like,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They were all
The
excited.
all the
did?
doctors and nurses were coming out, looking at my foot, because I got this barb hanging out.
It'd been way better if you showed up with the actual catfish. still.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. This lady was a nurse as well. See, that's
Oh.
I'm jinxed. If I take a nurse, I'm gonna get hurt.
You're
Yeah.
like that needs to be on your.
If you're a
form.
nurse, don't come.
Yeah,
No
if you're-
nurses.
Are you a nurse? Yes. Okay.
No.
You can't book. I'm busy.
But no, they all loved it. Like I had to make the best out of it. I'm getting wheeled around with a wheelchair, catfish barb hanging out of my foot. But the worst part of it was when I was at the hospital. They had to give me shots in the bottom of my foot to numb it. That was unbelievably painful.
Really?
Yeah, just like 5 shots in the bottom of my foot
It's like the medicine part of it. Yeah.
to numb it. And when they pulled it out, they literally just pinned my leg down, took a pair of pliers, and
Ripped it out.
pulled it
Yeah.
out.
Dang. Did it bleed a lot?
Oh yeah, when that barb came out, I was shooting blood everywhere.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hopefully you don't have a weak stomach if you're listening.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I had definitely not a catfish barb, but when I was like, I don't know, 20 or something, I was helping somebody frame an addition on his house, and I was standing up on the ladder, and I was holding like the top of the wall, like the top plate, and I was trying to toenail in a nail. And when I pulled the trigger, the nail gun slipped on the wood, and I shot myself in the bicep with a nail gun, like a framing nail. And like it didn't hurt going in. I was just like, I don't know what to do. I just like got a nail hanging out of my bicep. And so I called my mom, and she was like, yeah, we probably need to go to the hospital. So we went to the ER, and they were talking about the pain. Like, he was like, if I give you, he's like, the numbing medicine's going to hurt worse than if I just pull it out. And I was like, all right, well, just pull it out then. And so same thing. He just grabbed like a pair of pliers and just ripped it right out. And it really didn't hurt. Like, I probably could have just pulled it out myself when we were at the job site, but it just sounded terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, the barbs on the foot, that would have been tough.
So in all of my years of fishing, I've never had a hook inside of me.
I haven't
Don't
either.
say that.
I mean, I forgot to knock on wood.
I don't
It's
know if this is
coming.
wood,
It's
but-
coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like my day will come. Like I know that, and hopefully it won't be like in my eyeball or anything. Like worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But when I was guiding, this is really the only thing that stands out to me that was similar to that. One of my clients got hooked, and it was bad. So we had this stingray that we were fighting, and I had on like a big shark rig on because we had a big cut bait out there and there's a huge stingray. He got it all the way up to the beach, and we're trying to winch it in. He's got a lot of pressure on it. Well, the hook comes out, and it's like a 3 or 4 ounce pyramid sinker. Comes
Flying at
flying
your
back.
face.
He puts his hand up because it's coming right at his face, and the hook catches him in his thumb. But it's like a 5-6 circle hook, so it's not like this tiny little hook. It's thick and just not good. And immediately, like, he goes to the ground. He's winced over in pain. I'm sure it hurt like crap, and I feel terrible. And this is on one of my trips with one of my clients. And it had already been bad because these people, this was a trip. It's all coming back to me now. This was the second day. Like, this guy booked me for a weekend. It was him and like his nephew or something. And fishing was just terrible. It had already been bad, and we had not caught like anything. So we were excited about the stingray, which we didn't even catch.
We got a fish.
Yeah. And then this is like topping it off. But he got hooked, and I tried the braid trick. I tried the plier. I couldn't get it out because it was just so thick. Like, I could not.
And it was just through the tip of his thumb?
I can't remember exactly, but I just know it caught his thumb and it was inside of his thumb. I can't remember how it was lodged in there. I just remember I couldn't get it out. And because like those, if you are using a lure or something, it's got the small trebles or small,
Right.
like usually you can pop those
Pretty
right
thin,
out. Yeah, because it's got a small, but like that 6 or 7 ounce circle hook.
Yeah.
Or, that huge barb. Thick gauge,
Right.
like just you don't want that in your body. So he ended up having to go to the ER to get it removed properly because I couldn't get out. But I tried yanking on it a couple times, and I felt terrible. Because he was in some pain, but I didn't charge him for that trip.
I was about to say. I was gonna ask that question.
But that's one of the reasons when I was guiding, I wouldn't book multiple days with people because fishing's tough, or if they cancel, you're out a lot of money. Whereas if you kind of have it spread out, that at least if somebody cancels, you're not losing like 2 or 3, or if you have a sucky fishing trip.
So was that your last day, or you still had one more day after that?
No, that was it. Yeah, we fished. We only ended up fishing 2 days. Like, we were going to fish 3, but we were already kind of planning on like that day because this was the afternoon of the second day because we'd fished morning and afternoon the first day.
So he
morning
had 2 full days.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then I think they were going to like, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think they were going to do Sunday too. And I was like, yeah, this is.
So you didn't charge him for anything, or just that one?
No. Dang. Yeah, I did that a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't make a lot of money guiding.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a lot of money anyway.
Yeah. I would tell people that, like, if the trip was so bad, I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, you don't have to pay me. Most of the time, they'll still pay you, or at least give you something.
These people didn't need to pay me.
You do have people that were like, cool, yeah. I was hoping I didn't have to.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. I mean, the correct thing to do is to charge them. I mean,
that's
like
it's business.
Oh yeah, I mean,
We're not.
it's your time.
We're not guaranteeing you
That's right.
anything. So
Yeah, you're clear about those expectations up
it's
front.
fishing, not catching.
What a great name for a podcast.
I don't know.
What you looking for? There you go. That's the one. We can't figure out the buttons. Oh, sorry. I was trying to stop it. Sorry. Got a band back here somewhere.
Hit you with it.
How do you like our office there? Like,
love
if you're viewing this on YouTube,
Yeah.
we're in a different location.
We got a nice marina back there.
Yeah.
Some $1 million boats.
Yep, some sweet yachts back here.
Here in a couple more years, we're going to be doing a podcast from the back of one of those boats.
Yeah, when you guys keep giving us 5-star ratings on our podcast,
That's right.
and we're as big as Joe Rogan, then
When Spotify pays us $500 million to do a podcast on their platform.
yeah, you can. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can listen to us. We did finally get
Yep. Apple. We are
Apple.
officially on Apple Podcasts.
that was the hardest
took forever.
freaking thing.
And so it was stupid. So we talked about this in the first podcast. We had to have the RSS?
Yeah, RSS feed.
Real simple syndication. And that part of it was super easy.
Right.
We used Buzzsprout for that. And so it kept Apple, we had everybody done, and Apple just kept being delayed. And so finally I emailed Buzzsprout. And their customer service is freaking amazing.
It sounds like
I email them, and I have an email back from them within like 5 minutes,
Yeah,
if not quicker.
Yeah, both times you said you were emailing them, you were like texting me back within minutes saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is what they said." I was like, "Really?"
Yeah, crazy.
Like, that's really fast.
So like the first time they said that our picture was too big, so it needed to be like a certain pixels and a certain size format and different things, whatever. So I had to reformat our profile picture, and then the next time we thought everything was good after that, and it still wasn't getting listed. Oh, excuse me, had a little burp there.
Breakfast coming back up.
And then so we still weren't on there, so I emailed them again, and they had me log into the Apple Podcast Connect thing, which is like your dashboard, and Apple would not upload our podcast because we didn't have the duration, or not the frequency of how often we were going to upload. Like that affects you putting our podcast on.
But even getting to that point was a headache.
Yeah.
With Apple, I mean, it's just
like some of them we literally just clicked send and it sent,
and it was like
you had to like fill out
you're
all
listed.
this crap. And
Yeah, it was a headache.
but anyways,
It took
a lot
over
of
a
y'all
month.
do listen on Apple Podcasts, so we are on Apple.
That's right.
Just
can
make
check
sure you
some-
rate it 5 stars.
5 stars.
Subscribe.
Yeah, not based on content.
You can leave a review too. You can write a review. Let us know what you think. Maybe we could do like if you rate us 5 stars and leave a review, like we'll read your review on our podcast. We'll pick
Something.
like one person to podcast.
Or maybe Jordan will take you on a trip for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Rate this
I think
podcast 5 stars, and you automatically get a free trip with Jordan.
We may need to shift our camera just a little bit. I can fix some of that in post, but it'll be easier.
Towards me.
Yeah. It looks a little off. I thought we were good, but I must have told you wrong. That's my fault. That should be better. I mean, I can fix it in post.
They're over
but
here trying to crop me out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just cut Brad out completely. No need to have him in there.
Yeah.
Well, we went fishing this morning,
We did.
the 3 of us.
Yeah.
It's getting to be fall. And
Finally.
felt good outside this
It
morning.
was like mid 60s.
Pretty comfortable. And redfish kind of start showing up, and that's kind of what we were expecting. But we didn't see any redfish this morning. Well, we think we
We
did.
heard that there were some caught, but we did not catch nor.
Cannot confirm
Yeah.
or deny. We did not see it with our own eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this,
Sometimes you never know.
So we're standing out there on the beach, and we had already been fishing. Which so we didn't fish hard, and you don't really ever have to necessarily the area that we were fishing because it's kind of like going to happen or not, pretty
Right.
much. So when you get there, and a lot of times this time of year, stuff happens pretty early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing fish busting, you're seeing bait or whatever it may be, and you're getting some activity. But we fished for probably how long did we fish? Like an hour and a half. Nothing going on.
Probably because it was like 7:30. We were
say
talking
about
about leaving.
7:30.
It might have only been an hour because it was 6:15. I looked at my phone when we were talking about it's still too dark to start filming.
Felt like forever.
So it was probably only an hour that we fished.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't fish very hard, but we know for the most part in this area, it's like, yeah, we're just not gonna happen. So we're talking about breakfast. We're standing there. Like,
Yeah.
man, let's go to Tacky Jack's because
I
Tacky
was
Jack's
ready.
has some. I just recently discovered this. I didn't know Tacky Jack's had such a
didn't
good
either.
breakfast.
Yeah.
And there's a Tacky Jack's like right down the road from where we were fishing, and so we were like, yeah, let's go get some breakfast. I'm already thinking of coffee, and they have these like delicious breakfast potatoes.
Yeah, I guess they'd like fry them on a flat top or something.
I don't know. You had them in your omelet
Yeah,
thing.
they're legit.
Dude.
They were super good.
those are very
They're like
good.
the red potatoes, and they put the seasonings on there, and it's like just delicious. I love them so
Mm-hmm.
much. So I was like, I already told these guys, I'm like, let's go eat breakfast. Like, screw this.
Jordan was like, "No, I'm staying till 8." You're
Yeah.
like, "No,
No,
you're
no,
not.
no.
Pack your stuff up. We're
You're
leaving
coming to eat
now."
breakfast.
All right,
So
talk me into it.
Jordan's like pulling his stuff in, and as we're standing there, with our thumbs up our butt, basically, a school of fish, which we think are redfish, which I think there were some in there, pops up and just explodes
Like right by the beach.
30 yards off
Yeah.
the beach. So me and Brad throw in them, and we hook up, man.
Yeah, doubled up.
Yeah, I think, and I'm like fighting this fish thinking it's a dang redfish.
Same.
Turns out to be a jack.
I was like, I have the biggest redfish I've ever caught.
Yeah.
Because it looked like when I saw them busting in the water, I thought I saw redfish. And again, there could have been some mixed in, and the jacks.
think there
the
had
jacks
to
are
be.
just quicker to it.
Yeah, because it looked real coppery.
Yeah.
Like it had to be redfish in there. But like a lot of times redfish and jacks will be mixed together, especially this time of year.
Right.
And if you're throwing in a school and there's redfish and jacks, you're gonna catch a jack or hook. You're gonna hook a jack.
Yeah.
Because they're just way faster.
They're faster and more aggressive.
Yeah, but it was
good
like
time.
running out. I mean, for the first 5 minutes, I'm like, this is the biggest redfish of my life.
Right. I know.
I got a
Then I
world
was
record.
like, I already need to get my reel re-spooled because I'm low on line.
Oh,
and
you
it
were
was
super
like
low.
running and running and running. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to have to crank this drag, and I'm either going to break him off or he's going to turn around.
You're ballsy, man. You took that same reel to South Florida, expecting to hook tarpon. I was like, dude,
I pretty much knew I wasn't going to hook a tarpon.
yeah.
Not really. I had pretty high expectations of actually hooking a
You're
tarpon.
like me in a lot of ways, in that you are definitely a shoot first, ask questions.
Yeah,
later. Like,
yeah.
just we'll
You
figure.
know how much time it takes to go to the tackle store and have them put new line on
I
your
know,
reel?
man. Well, and there's risks with that.
Yeah.
I've,
You had yours re-spooled at a place and
I've lost 2 fish because
broke
of that.
off like the next trip.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's done pretty well, but sometimes when they first spool it up, something about how the line lays, it'll get stuck in the spool, and you won't know it until you're hooked on a fish. This happened to me twice.
Yep.
One time the first time I went to Juneau Pier, hooked a snook, took off running, hit that spot, popped right off.
Spooled by the same place.
Yeah, happened twice. It's okay. I still
don't go there,
I still
Jordan.
use them. It
Don't
happens.
go to that place.
It
I
happens.
put line on my own reels. I don't trust anybody else.
That's
Yeah.
probably smart. But those machines, they can get it really tight.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Which is what it needs to
Yeah.
be.
But I think that's what happened probably when you got broke off too tight, dug into the braid under there.
Yeah, something like that. Because when it happened to me one time when I was with you and I hooked a shark.
Yeah.
Was it a shark or a jack?
Yeah, shark
I can't remember. It was
on
shark.
top water.
And I was running. I'm like, yeah, I got him. And then pop. I'm like,
What happened?
What just happened? I mean, it broke at my spool, and I'm like, what the? Well, it didn't break there. It actually broke out there, but it's like I was trying to pull my line out because it felt.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't even pull my
Like
line.
literally
out.
stuck.
I was like, and at first I'm always like, my drag's not working, but it's just my line.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Frustrating.
Jordan, what'd you do in Indiana before you moved down here? What was life like up there?
I was a sheriff's deputy, believe it or not. So a big change in my career. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
I remember when I first met you and you told me that you were a sheriff, and I was like, I don't get that vibe from you. It doesn't look like your typical
No.
sheriff's officer.
I'm unique.
Did you have like just a mustache or something? Because I'm sure you couldn't have a beard like that.
No. I
No
look
facial
like-
hair?
If I had a
No
mustache,
porn stash?
no, I should be on a registry with my
It's just straight, clean shaven.
I keep trying to talk Courtney into let me do just a straight mustache
Yeah?
and like a legit mullet, like full on mullet where I shave.
You should.
She won't let me do it. I mean, I could do it.
I was
Tell
gonna
her
say,
who's boss.
Yeah,
Yeah, see how that works, Jordan.
I know how that works.
I like that line. I did it. Told her it was her.
I told my wife she's the boss.
That was funny.
I know my place at home.
Yeah. So how long were you a sheriff up there?
Not quite 8 years. I worked for the department for about 9 years, 9.5. Started off in the jail. They liked me, wanted me to stick around, so they gave me a gun.
The inmates or the
No, the sheriff. So they're like, here's a gun, here's a car, here's a badge, and they just cut me loose.
like you were working
Really?
in the jail
Pretty that
before
easy?
you were an actual sheriff?
Yeah,
What were you doing?
Taking care of inmates,
Like,
feed them, water them, tuck them in at night, you know, all that good stuff.
Take care of them.
oh,
But no, like
man.
literally, they're like, "Hey, you want to be a deputy?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" And like a week later, like, "Here's a gun, here's a car, see ya." I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, don't send
Like
me
they
out on
didn't
my
ha-
own.
like you didn't do all the. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you did a background check. You probably had to do that to
no,
work in
yeah.
jail, anyways.
And
but-
you had to go through academy, right?
In Indiana, you can actually work a year as a police officer before the academy.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
You have
crazy.
to have your 40-hour pre-basic, which is like a 40-hour week-long academy that you can do. And then, but within a year, you have to do the full-on 16-week academy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dang.
interesting. I had a buddy that recently got hired on as a cop, and before he even was like officially hired on, they sent him home with a gun.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't even know that I really have a job, but they gave me a gun. So I was like, I mean, I think your confidence should be pretty high. I
think I'm good.
He didn't like have his official like I'm an employee paperwork, but they sent him home with a gun. I'm like,
That's pretty
right,
wild.
yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know
they-
they were.
They'll
Just
give
hand
anybody.
out guns. I mean, if you want a gun, just go to this.
I guess they'll pretty much let anybody be a sheriff at a jail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're desperate. No.
How was that? Did you enjoy working in the jail, or all I think about is the TV show is like Life Behind Bars or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Was it pretty-
And you see like all this crazy stuff, and those are usually like in the what do you call them? Like the high.
Yeah, like big cities. I mean, our jail had like 90 to 100 inmates. I mean, it wasn't a big one. I mean,
That sounds like a lot.
Oh no, I mean, there's thousands in some cities, but
Yeah.
no, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty mild. Every once in a while, you get a crazy drunk or someone that's high that comes in, and you have some just crazy people. But for the most part, it's pretty tame.
Did you ever have to tase anybody in jail?
No, that's my one thing I always
never
wanted to
tased
do.
anybody?
Never got to tase anybody.
Did you-
We can probably set that up.
Yeah,
I know a guy
you do know a guy.
who's willing and able
He will.
to do anything for $20,
He will take one. For
and
the
I'll
team.
give him
Find a
$20.
taser.
If you want to see somebody get tased on this podcast, let
Comment
us know.
down below, leave a review, whatever you need to do. We're gonna set this up.
That's my
Have you been
lifelong
tased?
goal.
Awesome.
Like, did
Oh
you
yeah.
have to do that?
Oh yeah, I got tased.
Because I
You
know-
had to get tased to carry it, right? Or
Didn't
no?
have to, but I did it because I wanted to know what it was like.
Okay.
So what was it like?
You ever touched an electric fence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now imagine that wire going through your mouth and out your butt. Like it hurts. It locks your
Hey.
body up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through your mouth and out your butt.
I mean, full body. It
Sounds-
locks you up,
sounds
and
pretty
you
bad.
go. Yeah, you go down. Like when we
Oh
did
my
it, they had to
goodness.
hold on to your arm so you didn't just face plant. And it's brutal.
That sucks, man.
I also
Jeez.
got maced, pepper spray.
Yeah.
I would rather be tased than. I'd rather be tased than sprayed.
Well, because once you get tased, you're done. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's over, right? But
Yeah.
the pepper spray kind of lasts for a while.
Lingers around.
Like hours.
Yeah.
Did you like shove your head in a bucket of water or something after?
Yeah, rinse them out real good. Then go stood in front of an air conditioner, stared at it for an hour.
Really?
Did it like burn your skin and everything?
No, and the best way to get rid of it is literally just take soap and scrub your eyes out. It's not going to hurt any worse. So, yeah.
Golly.
Does it get in your throat? Like, do you have
Oh
trouble?
yeah, I mean you got snot pouring out of your nose.
Can you like not breathe? Or
Well, I could breathe. I've also been tear gassed.
oh,
That was bad. I couldn't breathe from that.
really?
Yeah, I went to SWAT school and got some gas, and that sucked.
So how do they distribute that? Like,
They
Throw you
put
in
you
the
in
chamber?
yeah, like a little building, and then they're like, "Here you go," and just
Was it like a group of you or one at a time for
when
the
I-
tear gas?
When I did it, it was for a big city. They were having a SWAT school, so they all had masks and stuff. But they like opened this canister in a building. We actually got to stand just outside it, but the wind was blowing right at us, so we got the full effect outside.
sweet.
Yeah,
Sounds amazing.
That sounds miserable.
yeah, it was.
But you know, I have respect for that. though.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're gonna be a cop and you're gonna be wielding some of these
They
things.
put you through the
yeah.
ringer.
So I mean, so you if you've been tased and pepper sprayed, you know, you're gonna really think about, do I really want to do this to another person?
Yeah.
Unless you really have to. I mean,
Right.
obviously there's situations that, you know, it's what you got to do. But like, you know, you're gonna probably use it, you know, as a last resort.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you pull that taser out. A lot of people, they're like, "Nope, done."
Yeah. I don't want any part of that.
I've got a police officer buddy. He's been a cop for several years, and he's a sheriff's deputy now. But he worked for a city for a long time, And he's tased a couple of people, and a lot of times, like, they would be, and he's been tased himself. Like, he went through that whole process, and he explained that to me, which sounds awful. But he would say a lot of these guys would know, like, the cops were coming for them, like, they had the warrants, and they knew that, they're going to be chasing them, and so they would run and all that. But they'd be wearing, like, 4 pairs of sweatpants and,
Hoping it doesn't
hoodies.
shoot through 'em.
Yeah.
So, like, he's shot, he's hit people with tasers, and it doesn't do anything because they have such thick clothing.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't even get to them.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, I had people
Keep
like they
that in
would
mind.
That's right. If you're ever running from the LAW.
throw a shirt in front of you. Maybe one of the prongs will hit that.
Yeah.
So when they tase you, like when you have to feel it, how do they hook it up to you? Because they don't like shoot you with a gun.
Oh
do they?
yeah.
Oh, they just shoot you with a gun.
We got the real deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you got the full on experience. I thought
Yeah.
they like kind of set it up.
Nope, not
No,
us.
they just you just stand there and just shoot you.
and they're behind you. That's the worst part.
So you don't even know
what's
what's
coming.
You don't even get to see it.
Surprise.
I don't know what's worse though. I mean, if you're like staring at them, like waiting
The
on it
suspense.
though.
Oh, it's the anticipation. All of a sudden you hear taser, 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 then pow, and you just lock up, and you go down.
Did you pee your pants?
I did not. That was
Oh,
actually
I
a fear.
bet.
I was afraid I'd poop. My
Oh,
I was
pants.
about to say, I bet there's been people that poop their pants.
Yeah, I would like go to the bathroom and try to get it all out as much
Oh,
as
I
I
did.
could.
I
Don't
made
eat the
sure,
day
like-
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my.
It's
biggest
like going in for a colonoscopy.
We'll clean you right out. Do you have a taser now?
No,
Oh.
no, they wouldn't let me keep it.
But you can get them, right? I mean, like anybody.
Do you have to
can
have a
taser.
permit to have it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
We'll look that up. We'll find out.
Yeah, we need a taser.
Yeah.
Because we know somebody that will take one.
Yeah.
I mean, they make those little stun guns.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get
That'll work.
one that actually shoots the prongs out.
We can get a
I have
cattle
no idea.
prod.
Yeah, I guess,
there you go.
I guess as a civilian, I don't know if you can get the taser
Legit.
gun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I know people that have like the little deal,
Mm-hmm.
but
See if we can borrow it.
man. So like, what's some crazy stuff that you saw? I mean, jail, being a sheriff's deputy.
Most of it's rated R, man. I mean, a lot of graphic stuff.
Yeah, we don't.
yeah.
we don't want to get too.
Don't
deep
go
there.
too
Yeah.
far.
Yeah,
And that's the stuff that sticks in my head. I mean, the crazy, like
That's tough.
crazy stuff. But
sorry to bring it up.
no, it's not forgive you.
Yeah. I'm sure you had some times like working a wreck or a scene or something like where you like couldn't go to sleep after seeing like. Do you have some stuff where it's like crap? I'm not going to sleep for like 5 days.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's some stuff that bothers you, but after you've done it so long,
Yeah.
you just. I mean, it's
Desensitized.
norm. Yeah, I mean, it becomes your norm. So
yeah.
I I did a ride along with my buddy. And I wasn't looking. I just was doing it because I was up there. This was less than a year ago, and he was on the night shift, and so he came and picked me up at like 8 o'clock, and I just kind of hung out with him until about 1. And he's a sheriff's deputy, and he has to. He's pulling over people, for different reasons because they kind of have an objective basically. And they're looking for some specific things, and so like anything that they can pull somebody over for, they will occasionally just to kind of check and make sure they're not carrying other stuff.
Right.
It's just kind of a checks and balances. And they, he talked about like he knew where certain organizations would kind of hang out and like where they would kind of be at certain times of night. So like he would kind of hang around those areas. Anyway, even just like, cause this was the first time I'd ever done it and been exposed to this at all. But even pulling up, like just pulling somebody over each time he'd get out of the car and walk up to it, like I was nervous.
yeah,
Cause like it's dark and it look, sitting in the cab, obviously I got to stay in the car and just watching it. It feels like I'm watching a live episode of
Right.
Cops where somebody like pops out of the car, like
Live
pop, pop, pop,
PD.
just starts shooting, and you don't ever know.
No, you
Yeah.
have
I mean,
no
like
idea.
you have no clue. You could walk up to any car and that'd be the last car.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like that'd be it. Somebody just sneak, pops out and starts shooting a gun. I mean, obviously you're trained and hopefully you're prepared and ready for that. But even still, I mean, somebody just.
No, I mean, it happens in seconds. I mean, it's just boom.
So
Stuff
like
goes
I would
down.
get nervous, but like they did get a call that night that so most of it he was just pulling a few people over, and they did get a call, a domestic dispute or domestic violence call or whatever. Somebody evidently had a knife and was threatening their spouse or girlfriend or whoever it was. So he was like on the other side of the county, and we were freaking flying to get. I mean, we were running like 140 down this
man.
highway, like we were freaking scooting, and it was crazy. It was kind of cool because like we weren't around any other sheriff's deputies or cops or anything for the longest time, and then like we're going down this. area, and like one just kind of comes out and kind of gets with them, and then another one comes out, and now there's like this caravan of cop cars going
Just
like
hauling.
140 down this highway. It was pretty intense, man.
That's crazy.
But we got there, we got to the house, and the girl was still there. She came out, and she's freaking out, talking to the cops and all that. And the guy had run off somewhere like in the woods, and so there were like woods and like a patch.
Beach bum, go get him.
yeah. So they like
Release the beast.
That's right. I'm gonna get you, man. But I did get to help hold a flashlight, like because we were driving because there were like some fields and stuff, and so I got to help hold the flashlight and like kind of look in the field and try to help spot, see if he was like laying down in the field or anything. But like they were going through the woods looking for him and all this stuff. They didn't find him that night, but
Crazy.
Yeah.
So anybody can just do a ride along?
I think
That's
so.
depending on your department.
I mean, I had to sign something.
Right,
I had to
yeah.
sign this waiver, like, hey, if you die or something, it's on you, bro.
It's your fault.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it's your choice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was eye opening because obviously you see it, and you know what they do, but every time you pull somebody over, and I'm sure he was just like, another day at work, he didn't care, but it maybe in the beginning, I'm sure it's kind of like that. Like the first few cars you pull over, you're probably like, oh crap,
This could be it.
hopefully these people aren't crazy.
You never know.
Do you ever have anything sketchy, like anybody pull a gun on you or anything?
I had a guy
Like,
kind of
felt
come at me
life-threatening?
with a hatchet once.
Oh God.
Really? A hatchet?
I can't remember why we were there.
Why have you said earlier you've never tased anybody? That's the
yeah.
time that you tased somebody.
Yeah.
but
Taser.
I mean, a hatchet's obviously lethal force, so I'm
You
matching
could
that.
pull the gun.
Oh, yeah, and I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gun
Oh
territory.
yeah. Because you can cut somebody up with a hatchet real quick.
Because again, I mean, if the dude's wearing enough clothes, or if he's one of these crazy psycho dudes that's all methed out, and a taser doesn't do anything, he can still come at you.
yeah.
I mean, so it's gun time, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're
the gun
going
came
down.
out, but I mean, the gun came out. He dropped the hatchet. Real
I'm
quick.
sure.
Hatchet or gun beats hatchet.
I'm gonna win
Every
this.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
How close was he to you?
It's a good little distance. I mean, within 50 feet. I mean, close enough.
Yeah.
And you were like, "This is
Like,
it."
yep. Yeah, that's
I'm about to kill somebody.
The one time I actually thought I was gonna have to use my gun, but I didn't.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, always good to be able to settle those situations without
gosh.
lethal
Oh
force.
yeah.
That's a tough job, man.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I have zero desire to be a cop, and especially nowadays, like the crap they deal with, you can't hardly do your job without the ramifications of, y'all all know the stuff that goes on now, but
It's ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Yeah, because like even in that situation, I mean, there's somebody had filmed it. Somebody be like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, he shouldn't have pulled his gun.
Yeah.
Dude's just got a hatchet."
Yeah.
Okay. You go stand in front of a dude that's coming at you with a hatchet and see
Right?
what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
just
let's
so
switch these
stupid.
things around here, buddy.
People that make these claims and like, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that. I'm like, bro, like,
Yeah.
and it's usually the wussiest people in the world making these statements. Like, if you were
Oh,
ever in
yeah.
any situation like that, you'd be the first one screaming like a little girl. And if you had a gun in your hand, you'd shoot probably wouldn't even hit them. You'd just shoot everything around you because you'd be freaking
yeah.
out.
Right.
Wouldn't know what to
That's
do.
the same people that comment on our Facebook videos.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
The same people.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We
is.
talked about that a couple podcasts ago.
Yeah,
So.
people that it really is mind blowing. Like even with the what was that kid's name during all that mess?
Up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, what was his name?
What?
The kid that shot the people with the AR, the protesters or whatever.
I can't think of his
don't know,
name
I
right
saw that.
now. It's not Kyle.
Recently?
No, this was in 2020 when all that protesting and stuff was going on, and he was up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't know.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Yes,
There we go.
you got it. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. He obviously. I mean, he was probably in a situation that maybe he shouldn't have been like running around and carrying a gun, but like he was there for a specific purpose. He was trying to help like clean up or whatever. But like you can tell in that situation, what I was impressed with, watching that video and seeing some of that stuff happen, how much restraint he actually showed.
Yeah.
Because he didn't like thinking about it, and I'm not like real efficient with a gun, but I've used guns through my life. I've hunted, have minimal experience, but I have some experience with guns and weapons and tactical stuff a little. But like if I'm in that situation and somebody's coming at me and I've got a gun, like I'm probably gonna be firing off. Like you know what I mean? Like he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he shot any more rounds than he needed to shoot. You know what I mean? Like and they were very accurate and well placed.
Yeah.
And it was just
Definitely seemed like you had some sort of training.
yes, like
Or
you
just
don't-
a ton of experience.
And my point is, like, people make all these comments like, oh, well, he should have done this. Like, look, you have no clue what you're talking about. Like, you've never been in that situation.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's like. Like, imagine yourself there and you're holding a gun and somebody comes at you like that. Well, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, even if you got a gun, doesn't mean you're going to win this situation.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
anyway, I digress.
That's what I always think
So
about. Like,
frustrating.
even like if I'm in a situation, like if you're carrying, like if you got a carry permit or something, but you're in a situation where you have to, like, you train and you know how to use this gun and do all that, but like you as a cop, y'all not necessarily in life-threatening situations every day, but you're dealing with this kind of thing every day. But for those that aren't, like, I think about that sometimes. Like, if something happened and I needed to use my gun, how would I even react? Because like my mind, I've never been in that situation, so
Right.
I think I know what I would do, but I don't know what I'm really gonna do. I'm not a trained.
It takes a
professional.
lot of training. Talking to Matt Poole, Ninja Tackle. Him and his daughter do this training stuff. They're
Competitions
hardcore
and-
about
yeah.
it, and very impressive. Like she's like 15 and can kill like everybody with one shot from a mile away. Basically, like she's really talented. But he's talked about it, and basically, everything they teach in the courses that they have is how to get out of those situations. Like, not if you're ever in a situation where somebody comes in this building and it's active shooter or whatever, how do you get you and your family out of that situation?
Yeah.
Like it's never your first thing isn't like, oh,
let's go be the hero.
I'm engaging with this person.
Yeah.
It is always an absolute last resort. Like there's no other option. You now you have to pull the gun. What are you going to do? But like everything they teach and train is get out of it.
Yeah.
How to get out of it. So I mean, which makes sense, and that's a hard thing to, process. You have to go through training, I think, to train your brain and mind to know what to do in those situations.
For sure.
It's tough. We should all do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an important thing. Like we should be, taking care of our families and
Absolutely.
know how to handle those situations. But
You never know these days.
that's right. That was like that church. There was a shooting in a church a couple years back.
Yeah.
And the old guy who was actually a trainer for something like that, shoots from like 25 yards away, like one shot. In the
Yeah.
head. I mean, that's hard. Like
Oh, yeah. With a handgun?
with a pistol.
Yeah.
Like how accurate of a freaking shot.
That's a long way with a
He
handgun.
was zoned in.
It like and in an intense situation, like you're shooting at, like this is real deal, bro.
I know. I'd be like,
I know. Like, I mean, that's impressive. I mean, I know, again, obviously somebody died. It was terrible. I mean, regardless of how it happens, I mean, obviously they were trying to do a very, very bad thing and kill a lot of people. Unfortunately, he was able to stop that.
Right.
But somebody still died, which is terrible. But, like, the way that he was able to handle that situation is impressive.
yeah,
I mean, when you think about what that human being had to go through and how they were able to compose themselves, shoot accurately, do it as clean as possible. I mean, like, it's just, it's impressive. I mean, just knowing what I know, the little bit I know and how hard it is. Because even deer hunting, just shooting at a dang deer.
the buck fever.
In the middle of the woods.
You're like, oh, it's
I
a
know, I'm like,
giant.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, so I, like, putting that in context with it being a active shooter situation and now you're dealing, like, this is a real deal, bro.
It's intense.
Like, I can't imagine how I would react in that situation. Not good.
yeah.
I mean, without
think so
proper
either.
training, like I don't think many people could handle those situations properly without
Yeah.
the proper training.
Well, we'll call Jordan if we're in an
That's
issue.
right.
Phew.
You can come handle it for us.
Ex-sheriff.
I need you.
So what happened? Like, so you said almost 10 years
Yeah.
at the sheriff's department, and you did after the jail? Did you do patrol? Is that
Yeah.
what you did.
Yep, I was a road deputy after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you got out to move here? Is that basically
Yes.
what it was, or did you do anything
Yeah,
else up there?
No, that was it. My last day was Christmas Day. Yeah, so that was my gift back to the county. And
I'm
their-
out of here.
Their gift to me was letting me work that shift by myself. Which, thank you.
Nice of him.
But yeah, yep, hung it up, and then we had to wait a couple months for our house to get done and moved down here.
You said you moved here in February, right?
Yeah.
So you quit. And 2 months later, you were here.
Yep.
Fishing the beach.
Nice. That's
it
a
was
little
awesome.
change of pace there.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
A
that's
little
like
less stressful.
whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, this is definitely the way to go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Different kind of stress running trips, but
for sure.
Yeah.
Not-
Anything. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
There's difficulties and stuff that's going to stress you out.
Yeah,
Be tough. But it's way better to do that on a beach than
oh yeah.
driving a cop car around town.
Yeah, for sure. We've talked about this in a couple other podcasts. We've asked another guest this question. I think we forgot to ask Ron. But if you could be any animal in the ocean, I'm just curious.
Hopefully
now.
you prep for this one, Jordan.
Oh, I've got a good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so if you could be any animal in the ocean, what would it be?
Sea turtle.
Sea
People
turtle.
go nuts over sea turtles around here.
Everybody loves them.
They'll protect me.
Protected.
And when
Sure.
I come up to lay my eggs, people have to leave me alone, which is awesome.
And if anything tries to attack you, you just go all turtle shell.
Yeah, just go inside my shell.
That's a smart one there, Jordan.
You know, it's kind of fitting for you too. Like just the demeanor of a turtle. You know, it's kind of chill.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of
Slow. Everybody loves me.
do it. Yeah. Like
Turtle enough
just
for
kinda
the
doing your
turtle
thing.
club.
Which kind of sea turtle would you be? Like loggerhead,
No, I don't know.
Leatherback.
the Kempers,
They're all the same to me.
You didn't
Doesn't
think this
matter.
far into it?
No.
That is a good answer.
Yeah.
I like that.
yeah. You just gotta watch out for those plastic bags, though,
Oh,
because you're eating jellyfish,
Yeah.
bro.
Quit
Yeah.
using them plastic straws, guys.
There's a lot of plastic in the ocean. If you eat that, you're done. You're toast. And you live a long time too.
Yeah, like
What a
100
great
years.
answer. Yeah, like sea turtles live for like 150, 200
Yeah.
years.
He was like laying in bed last night trying to go to sleep, and he's like, "All right,
That's all I thought
these
about.
guys are gonna ask me."
That's a great answer. I like that one. Is it? You know, I think most people go to where your brain goes. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be the
Alpha male.
yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of pressure. That
Yeah.
comes
If
with
you
that.
if you really think about it, there's a lot of better things to be than
Yeah.
a shark.
Yeah. Because people want you. And they're going to try to catch you.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to try to catch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're afraid of you, and I mean, maybe you want that.
If you're gonna be a turtle, I'd just stay away from the piers, though.
Yeah.
You are gonna have some swim baits launched at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You're also gonna have remoras just sucking to you all the time.
Which I don't know. Is that enjoyable? I mean, you're kind of
I don't know if the
connected.
turtle likes that or not.
Do you think you'd like that?
Have a remorse suck on me.
I got a bunch of them.
Hey, if a bear's hungry, he'll eat, I guess.
Oh man.
like-
Okay.
I want to
that-
say something so bad right now, but I can't say it.
We can always cut if we need to, Brad. We can't put that in there. We did just cut. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't have that in there. That was funny though.
Yeah, don't forget that one.
That was pretty good, man. But yeah, the sea turtles at the pier. That is your only. Don't swim by any piers if you're gonna be
Yeah.
sea
Yeah.
turtles
Looking for
because you got to
cobia.
watch out because you know a lot of guys on the pier they're gonna be throwing at you. Not they're not trying to hit you, but not
I bet
everybody's.
some of them do.
Some of them are.
yeah.
I'll be honest. Some of them are gonna be trying to hit you, but some of them just aren't quite as accurate, and they might hit you.
Yeah.
It
I've
happens.
hooked a turtle or two.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Stop
I
that.
landed one from the stop that. Landed one from the beach shark fishing.
I've hooked some turtles throughout the years, not many from the beach, but I have, and it's very disheartening.
Yeah.
Like I feel terrible because obviously you're not trying in the least bit to hook a turtle
Right.
ever, but like when it happens, you're like, dang it, I mean, it's just a sad thing to see.
Yeah.
And they look of all the like creatures and fish and stuff that we deal with, like a turtle struggling on your line is probably the saddest thing.
I don't know if we got any. That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
sad. I don't know. I can't read the things. I didn't know if we had any sad music.
Well, these are all the voices, which we'll get to
Well,
that.
Yeah.
But
No sad music.
It is depressing, and you're supposed to, which is also, it's kind of a gray area. I don't know. Like you're supposed to call people.
Yeah.
If you hook a turtle, you're like not
We
supposed
found
to
that
deal
out.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now hook that turtle from the beach shark fishing.
Do people comment that?
Yeah. So I got private messages about everything I did wrong and what
Yeah.
I should have done
You should
differently.
have scraped those barnacles off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
The-
interesting. You didn't ever get to post that
I
as a
know,
follow
that
up.
audio was
you,
gone.
You should tell that story.
Yeah, so I was shark fishing and I hooked something and it like I'm fishing probably like an 8 to 10 inch Spanish mackerel and a piece of Spanish mackerel, not an undersized Spanish mackerel.
Yeah.
Clarify that.
Sure.
Anyways,
Mr. Mangrove.
I'm fishing with the Spanish mackerel, shark fishing, and something hits. And well, no, actually, I was going to just check the bait, and I reel it in, and it like feels like it's stuck. And I'm like, where we were fishing, it's known to have some structure. I didn't know that I was fishing structure, but there's known to be some structure around. I was like, dang, I like threw on a shipwreck or something, or I'm hung up on something on the bottom. And then it started moving a little bit, and I'm like, this is not a fish. It's not a shark. I was like, if anything, maybe it's like a giant stingray. And so I'm like fighting it for a minute, like trying to pull it up.
They fight pretty hard.
Where we were fishing,
they're
it
so
drops from like a couple foot to like 30, 40 foot really quick.
Was this in Pensacola?
Yeah, Fort Pickens. And so I'm trying to basically drag what I think is a stingray up this incline in the water. And I finally get it up and realize that it's a dang turtle. And I'm like, crap.
Worst.
And yeah. And so I never would have thought the turtle would have ate a whole Spanish mackerel.
That is very weird.
Part of the Spanish mackerel.
Get it right, Brad.
Oh, man. But so we finally get it up to the beach, and I'm with Brant and Jack. And Jack does a lot of the work. We finally get it up on the beach, and the hook is like, it's in its mouth, but it's not like super deep hook. So, but their mouths are like super strong. And so we finally ended up getting the hook out of it. We let it back. It swam off. Everything was fine. But I got roasted. They were like, so what you're supposed to do is if you catch a sea turtle, you're supposed to bring it up on the beach, get a wet towel, lay a towel over its shell, put up an umbrella, and keep it in the shade. I did not have an umbrella or a towel.
Seriously? Like that's the correct protocol?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew you were supposed to call somebody. That's all I know.
If you have a towel and umbrella, cover it up, keep it in the shade, wait on the volunteers. This is on a Sunday, so that's probably going to be like 6 hours. Yeah. It's not going to be quick. There's no way. At the time, I knew that you can call this number, but I didn't know all the protocol. So we just released it, thought we did a good job. But I also got a lot of comments that were like, well, if you had it out of the water, you could have at least got the barnacles off of its shell. I'm like, what?
An overwhelming amount.
Yeah, a lot of people said I should have done that.
Like, just a very odd thing to point out, and that many people to jump on board for that.
But, like, I didn't have an umbrella and a towel. I definitely didn't have a hammer and a chisel. Like, why would I ever have that with me on the beach? But, like, so, that's like maybe a month later.
Not long.
You and I were fishing at Okaloosa Island Pier, and I don't think somebody hooked it. I think it's like swam through and just had all this.
They were trying to snag the line that was attached to the turtle.
This turtle just had tons of line on it
to get the turtle up so that they could free the line.
And in that area, basically the Destin area, they have a ton of sea turtles.
Yeah.
And they have what's that area called? The hospital or whatever next to it. The
Sea Lab or
something like that. I can't remember what it is. But they have like basically a hospital for marine life right next to the pier. And so they're trying to get the turtle up so they can net it, take it over to the hospital, clean all this line off. And so they finally do, and me and Matt were there. We helped bring up the net and everything. And so when we get the turtle onto the pier, I assume she's like a marine biologist.
Yes, the professional.
The lady that knows what to do.
The person you call when you hook a turtle, yes.
And did somebody else ask or did you ask?
Somebody there
Somebody asked
which
about.
Was perfect.
Yeah. And my freaking GoPro quit recording for some reason. Somebody asked about the barnacles on the turtle shell.
They're asking if they will remove
or if they remove them while they're in the hospital.
Which is just funny. Like, that never even crosses my mind.
No.
Like, it's so funny that so many people are like, oh, you should remove the barnacle.
Yeah.
Like, why would... Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. But so the lady's like, no. And she went into a long explanation.
She basically said it'd be the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, like all the barnacles are natural to the turtle. You're going to damage the shell if you try to remove the barnacles. And I just wanted to like take that clip and send it to everybody that commented on that video.
Because they were ripping you for not scraping the barnacles off.
I'm like, can you imagine if I took a hammer and chisel to a turtle's shell?
Like, that's the...
Talk about you being protected. Yeah. They would have killed me and buried me under the jail.
Yes. It blows my mind. And that's Facebook, because most of it was on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind, the professionals, quote unquote, that are on Facebook that make those kind of claims.
They're what they thought was the right thing was so far from
the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And they're ripping you for it. Like, you are such a jerk for not scraping those barnacles off. That's what I would have done. I would have spent 3 hours of my time scraping those barnacles off if it had been me.
I'd have got a seashell and just knocked them until they came off.
Yeah, and you would have You'd have killed Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan the sea turtle.
I saved your life, Jordan.
Thank you.
Sweet. Anytime.
Well,
man.
Jordan, how'd you like being on the podcast?
I enjoyed it.
Did you have a good
Yeah.
time?
I'll come back if you want me.
Isn't this an amazing experience?
It's life changing.
Do you like our office? Do you like our view?
Yes.
So, since you've never listened to a podcast and this is your first one that you've ever listened to, what would you rate it?
5 stars.
Oh, okay,
mean,
great.
come on.
Heck yeah.
Like that.
Uh.
Thanks for listening today.
Thanks for having. Oh, say something, Jordan. Tell him. I don't even know what to say.
How about now? Oh, I like that. That was perfect. Yeah. We got Jordan the sea turtle. Swim, little sea turtle. You're so pretty. Free. Let me just take some of these barnacles off right here. Oh! Well, Jordan, if anybody wants to book a trip with you, how can they get in touch with you? What's your number?
Just look up G2 Coastal.
That was awesome. But seriously, if you want to book a trip with Jordan, G2 Coastal, Facebook, Instagram,
Check him
YouTube,
out.
Yeah.
all the stuff.
He does a good job. He doesn't pass out.
Do you have a
every time.
website?
I do. Everything's
G2coastal.com.
All the things.
Check them out. And you cover basically Perdido Key to Fort Morgan?
Orange Beach, Fort Morgan.
Anywhere in Alabama,
Yeah.
Check him out.
outside of Dolphin Island.
Yeah.
Thanks for having.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks for being. I was going to say thanks for having us, Jordan.
Hey, anytime. I enjoyed having you guys today.
Thanks, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you're subscribed. Rate us 5 stars.
5.
And we'll catch y'all in the next Fishing, Not Catching podcast.
This is creepy.
Yeah.